Today, I'm going to make a simple podcast inside of OBS, which you'll be able to follow along at home. I'm not going to use a Stream Deck or any custom code, just OBS with some plugins. And let's get into it. And so, first of all, this is the OBS, how it should look if you've just installed it. And we need to download some plugins. These are very much needed, and I'll explain why as we use them throughout the show. And so first things first, downstream keyer. Make sure to get that. Source clone, these will be linked below or somewhere which you can find them easily. Source dock, gradient source, stroke, glow, shadow. And this is a script called source toggler, which I'll show how to use later on. And also VLC, the 64-bit version of it here. And this is for music, which let's get into that. So first things first, I'm going to make my program look like how I use it. So I'm going to change the appearance. This is just to show that why mine might look a little different from yours. And I'm going to use gray. And so there we go. So let's set up OBS. So first things first, the audio mixer. I don't like my desktop audio or the microphone here. So I'm going to go to settings. I'm going to go to audio. And I'm going to go disable this. And I'm going to disable that. Because when I apply this, boom, they're gone. So it's a very blank slate OBS. And now video. Make sure you set this to however you want. Usually it's like this, but I'm going to put mine up to here and like that and apply. So let's make a break screen. And so rename this break. And I'm going to use that gradient from that gradient plugin we've used. Hit OK. And let's make a nice little gradient here. And so the from color, I'm going to go pick a nice blue. Okay. And let's pick another blue. Okay, let's make it a bit lighter. Okay, that'll work for me actually. Let's change the rotation a bit, get it on its side. Actually, let's go the other way. There we go. Okay. And so now let's make a countdown timer. And so we'll call this CD. You can name this however you want, as long as you know what they are. This is going to be for a countdown. And I'm going to select a font. And I'm just going to go pick this one. You can pick whatever you like. I would suggest picking a monospace font where the difference between each character is the same. You can see here the 0 is much bigger than this. So this isn't one of them fonts, but it doesn't matter. You can look into that. And so there we go. The font's made. And how do we get it to count down? Well, we can go to Tools and we can go to Scripts. This comes with OBS. It's the countdown lure. So I'll remove this and let's add one. So this pops up. I'm going to pick Countdown Lure, which comes with OBS. And also, just to point out, this is where I've put my source toggler script that I've shown you earlier to download. And so now we need to select our text source, CD. As you can see, there we go. Final text, you want to set this to how it's going to look like when the thing ends. So I'm going to do this, do that, do this. Just so it's going to be on 0000 when it ends. Another thing that I'll go into real quick is if I zoom in this browser, make it really big, right? So we've zoomed in. I'm going to zoom in a bit more. This text looks good. But if you ever need to change the size of something in OBS, this is a very good thing to know about. If we make this smaller, we can see how the font looks a bit jagged, right? So you can right click this, go to the scale filtering, and select bilinear. And you can see now it always has a nice look no matter where we scale it. And so I just want to quickly point that out. If you're making something bigger than what it should be, like an image is bigger, I would use the bicubic. Anyway, let's get back to building our break screen. So there we go, I have our timer over there. And let's go add the music. So that's the VLC thing we downloaded earlier. Make sure to restart OBS if these aren't showing up after you've downloaded them. So VLC video source. I'm just going to call this music. Hit OK. And you want to have a folder somewhere with a bunch of music in it. So I'm going to add directory. And I'm going to go to music. And I got some Sims music over here. So let's select that. And let's just hit OK. And now we've got some music playing. So if I grab my headphones, we'll go take a listen to it because right now we can't hear it. So I'm just going to turn this down real quick so it's not too loud. And we can hit this little 3 dots here. Then we can hit Advanced Audio Properties. And then we can change this monitor off to monitor and output. All right, we got the music playing. We can skip this, go through it. We can drag it wherever we want it. And just like that. And we have our music playing. And so we've got that. And I'm going to switch off the monitoring. Okay, this is the break screen. And let's go add the cameras. And now first things first, we're going to add a audio scene. And so let's hit OK on that. And here we're going to add a browser. And we're thinking, okay, why a browser? Call this podcaster 1 feed. Because I don't like to use OBS to get the video. So what I like to use is something called Video Ninja. This. So it's very easy to use, and I'm going to show you how to use it. So first things first, I like to make my own URLs, the own links that you will send to whoever you want inside your OBS. So I'm just going to do $push equals Joe Pod 1. Hopefully no one else is using that. And enter. Okay, I want to share my camera. Allow while I'm on the site. And let's go pick this virtual camera, and I'm going to start it on here to get my camera into here. And audio sources, make sure they select the right microphone. Okay, analog 1+2. Okay, you can see my thing is going up, and I've selected the right one. I can hit start. Okay, there we go, we've started that. And how do we get this into OBS? Well, it's very easy. You want to make sure you've got a copy of this link that you've sent to whoever you want in, and you want to paste that into OBS. But you want to change this push to view. And the width and height, you can put this to whatever you like. I like to just do 1920, 1080. And make sure to select Control Audio via OBS. Hit OK, and we'll wait for that to come through. And there it is, and there's my microphone coming through. And so it's very easy to add. And now let's just pretend we're going to add another one. And so we're going to add another browser, podcaster 2 feed. We're going to paste the same link in there. We're going to change the push to view. We're going to put the width to this and height to that. Control Audio via OBS on. Hit OK. And there we go. We've got 2 feeds inside of OBS. We can make these smaller. And now there we go. So this can be any other link, a URL or whatever. And you can see how that links up. And so now let's make a scene where we have our cameras on it. So I'm going to call this 3. Let's make it a 2 box. So 2 people. And back to break, we have this gradient. Let's just Control C, copy this, or right click, copy. Go to 2 box, Control V, or right click, paste. Make sure you click reference for this kind of thing. And there we go. So how do we get the video on here? Well, we can press add, and we can go to source clone. And let's call this podcaster 1. Okay, uncheck the audio here. And for the clone, we want to select podcaster 1 feed that we've added earlier. And there we go. And we can move this over here. And then we can copy this. So I'm going to right click copy, right click, paste duplicate. And now we have 2 of these. But we need to go to this one and go to properties and switch it to podcaster 2. Just like that. And now just to make this a bit more easier to spot, I'm going to make a new URL. I'm just going to duplicate this, JoePod2, press enter, share my camera. Let's just see if we can pick something else. Let's go with this, and let's hit start. And so there we go. We've got JoePod2 also there. We can come to audio on here, podcaster 2, JoePod2. Okay. And we'll soon see this is here as well. Go back to 2 box, and you can see there we go. I'm going to rename this. I'm going to call it Podcaster 2. All right, there we go. We've got 2 podcasters in. And let's say we want to make a quick name. You can add text, or what I would like to do is I would go back to break. I would right click this, and I would copy it. Go back to 2 box, paste duplicate. And now we can line this up. And what I like to do is I would right click this CD2, the duplicate thing, go to transform, edit transform, and this box pops up. And now one thing that I would do is I would click CD2 and press Control R. That's the CTRL and the R key together. That just resets how it looks. You can see everything's back to normal here. And now you can also do that by right clicking this, and I think this just does it, the reset button here. Yeah, so that's a Control R as well. It's the reset button there. And so now I'm going to use the bounding box. I have no bounds, and I'm going to do maximum size only. Okay, because in production, we want things to be quickly edited, and we'll see why this is important. Because now we can lower this. I'm using the scroll wheel on the mouse to scroll this, or you can use the keyboard like page down, page up, and other things like that. So you can see how this is adjusting the text. And you can also just manually move this around. You can see, okay, I'm seeing what this does. It's like this. And so what does this bounding box do? Well, if I add more text, as soon as it hits the end, it'll just make it smaller. It doesn't matter how big of a thing you put it here, it's only going to fit this box. Finally, let's right click it and switch that bilinear thing on just to make it look a bit more nicer. Also going to do that with the podcasters. I don't know if I can show this too well. I'm going to hold the sources and move it to here because you can move these about. And let's get this a bit bigger. And now you'll see my camera here. I can right click, scale filtering, and bilinear. And it just smooths out the pixels. If you ever watch a streamer or something who has the camera in the bottom left, you can see there's quite a lot of pixels there. It's because they haven't done that. So scale filtering, bilinear, there we go. Now everything looks nice and smooth and proper for the broadcast. So CD2, let's put this as a name. So click this. I'm going to put this back to here so it looks more like yours. And I'm going to call this my name, Joseph. I can rename this to pod 1 name. And I'm going to copy this, duplicate it again, rename pod 2 name. I'm going to move that over to the right, but let's just move it like this. We can try to see where we need it. So 585411. Okay. I'm using the arrow keys and the keyboard here. 58. What is it? 585411. Okay, we got the right height, and we can align this up here. Okay, up, and you can see the slight difference. If you look really closely, look at how different this text looks. Left one looks good, the right one, because we forgot to add the scale filtering on it. There we go. And that's that done. Now, you've probably saw this before, but where's the audio? You know, we don't have the audio. And so we have that other plugin we downloaded earlier, and we go back to audio. And on the audio, we have the stuff here. Okay, so how do we get this on the other scenes? Well, we can come to Docs, downstream here, add, audio, and now if we go to Toolbox, the audio's here. If we go to break, the audio's there as well, but the cameras are still here, so I just want this to be audio. So I'm going to go back to here, filters on the audio, add, and I'm going to add a color correction, okay, because we're going to make the opacity 0. We don't want to see anything with the audio. So come back to here, we've got the audio, no cameras, it's just this. Go to break, audio's there again. And the reason why I like global audio is because now we can make, let's say, an image. We want to show an image. Someone's talking about an image, so let's show an image. And I think I have a saved pictures here. And this image, let's say they're talking about this for whatever reason, just drag that on. Boom. You can set it up. And you can see how we can move this around. But you'll notice on this OBS, you can see how it snaps to the middle. See that? Snap. To get that, go to your settings and the general and make sure this is ticked on. snap sources to horizontal and vertical center. It makes it a lot easier to move things inside of OBS because everything will snap to the center. So there we go. We have our image. And look at that. We can go to toolbox. I'm going to switch to cut. Go to image. And our casters stay there. So it doesn't matter what we do. We'll always have our podcaster audio coming through. And finally, if we go to break, maybe we don't want to switch these off as soon as we go to break. We want to automatically do it. Well, we can go back to docs, go back to downstream here, and we have this audio. We can go to settings, and we can go and exclude scene break. That means audio will never be on the break scene. Go to toolbox, there it is. Go to images, there it is. Go to audio, there it is. But never be on the break scene. And there we go, that's set up. And this is kind of the basic setup, and this is how I would go for. Now let's go into some of the more advanced things and see what that's about. And so, first things first, I'm going to go to Tools, and I'm going to add a source dock. Okay, this makes it easy to control. And I'm going to add audio. Add. It's a little tricky to use, but once you've got it, it's good. Switch off preview. Switch on scene items. Okay, and we have this all there like that. Okay, cool. All right, that makes it really easy just to switch these off and on. You can see that. You can also mute them down here, but I like to fully remove them from here just so I know they're not there. And there we go. And so now, let's go make some full screen stuff. Podcaster 1 full. Okay, audio follows. And we're going to copy this, Control C, or right click, copy. And we're going to go to here, right click, paste reference, or Control V. And I'm going to press that Control R, or transform, edit, reset. And now it's full screen. There we go. Podcaster 1's done. And let's add another one. Podcaster 2 full. Okay. Come back to this one. Copy this. Paste it here. Control R. And there we go. We can easily switch between the two. I'll go to the toolbox. I'll come back to here and do that. And okay, cool. I'm trying to think what else there is, so hold on. Okay, let's go make a new scene again. I'm going to duplicate this one, the toolbox, and I'm going to toolbox preview. Okay, and so now I'm going to hold Control and select these, or you can select the top one, hold Shift and select the bottom one, it'll select the whole range. You can drag these down, just move them around, and you know what, I'm going to make them a bit smaller. Let's make this smaller. Let's make this smaller. And how do we get the other one to adjust to this one? I can select this and do Control Shift C, or you can right click it and go to transform, copy transform. See, Control Shift C. And then come to here, Control Shift V, drag it, and you can see it's the exact same size. Very easy to do. I'm going to do the same with this. Control C, Control V, move it over to here. And let's try to move this, use the arrow keys a bit. 950, 950, 84. Move this left, just use the arrow keys. There we go. And go back to this, select them all, move them over here. Or just put them in the middle like this. Now we're going to add a new thing. We're going to make a new scene too. And so this will be preview. Okay, I know we're getting a bit busy now, but you'll soon see how this is easy to control. Trust me, it's very easy once it's done. And now we can add, I'm just going to get that image that we had before. So copy this, preview, paste. I'm going to make it really big just so it's easy to use. Or actually, I'm going to delete it. Sorry about this. Just you can follow along. And I'm going to add a color source. There we go. Okay, it's just a white color source. Okay, I like that. Back to toolbox preview. I'm going to add another source clone. I'm going to call this preview. Render. That is something that's not different. No audio. And I want this as preview. Okay, that's our big white box. And I'll make this smaller. I'm going to move it over to here. And remember, right click, scale filtering, bilinear. And there's our preview. Nice. Okay. And just to make this a lot more easy to view, I'm going to go to the top left and hit View, Open Multi-View, and I'm going to make a window. And so now we can get a nice view of the broadcast. And this is what we can do to control it too. I'm going to go toolbox, click toolbox. Okay, podcaster 1 full, click that. Podcaster 2 full, click that. If you want to move these around, it's very easy. And so if I go get the break scene, and let's move this down, you can see how it's moving here. There we go. I like this a bit better. And so I have toolbox preview, podcaster 1, podcaster 2. See how our audio matches everything. Go to break, no audio, get the music playing. That's good. Come over to here. Nice, nice, nice. And this preview scene lets us show something live. So we can go to the toolbox and be like, okay, they're going to talk about something else. So I'm going to go to preview. And we can just pretend we're going to add an image. That one again. They're going to talk about this. You can see how this lines up in our preview. There we go. And now we can go to preview. Boom, there it is. Okay, that's cool and all. But what if you want to stay in preview and not come out of it, but you want to update this? Well, I would suggest this. Oops, well, not that. Let's make this a bit bigger. So we're trying to control this ourselves. And so we're going to add a new source doc. Okay. Going to select source. We're going to select that preview render. Where's preview render? It's here. Okay. Add. All right. And I'm going to select filters too. And switch off preview because we don't want to see it. Oops, I'm selecting the wrong ones here. No preview on this one. Switch the filters on. And, you know, let's leave the preview on just so we know what this does. And close this. And so, finally, preview render. Right-click it. Filters. Add. We want to add a freeze filter, that thing I was on about earlier. You'll see why in a second. So this has been added. And, okay. That's a little annoying. I thought that this would have had, you know, the filters list here, but I guess it doesn't. Usually I'd use a Stream Deck to control this, but I'll stick with this. I go to filters and switch it on. Now that this is on, look what we can do. We can hit studio mode. We can go to preview and we can move it around, but it doesn't change live. So we can change this all the way that we like. Move it over here. We can do whatever. Let's say we want to make a full screen like that. Okay, back to filters. Let's update it. Boom. That's the update. Okay, add the freeze again. Go back to the white scene and undo it and it updates. So you can see how that works with that. Okay, so we can control with this. Boom, 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 boom. And let's make it look a bit nicer. And so usually, let's go back to that toolbox, this one. And we want to add a border to these. So I can right-click podcaster 1, go to filters, add, stroke, okay. And I'm going to make this an inner stroke. Okay, and we're going to make the, switch this off. As you can see now, we can add a nice border to our thing. Okay, nice. Now actually, I think we can do this too. We can make it as a source. We can go select that gradient. Boom. So now you can see our gradient from before is the source. But what happens if you want another gradient? Okay, let's do that. Let's go back to the break, gradient. I'm going to copy. I'm going to duplicate it. Gradient 2. I'm going to hide it from here. And I'm going to call this outline. Going to go to properties. Going to go edit the colors a bit. Let's make this a bit darker. Let's make the other one a bit more darker. Okay. Go back to toolbox. Go back to this. Right click, filters. Go to stroke. Select our new gradient, which is outline. And there we go. Now we have that outline gradient from before. Now this doesn't look too fancy, but let's put it on the other one. So I can right-click podcaster 1, copy filters, right-click podcaster 2, paste filters. And our same filters got applied to that. If we want to change the outline, well, we can just come over to this outline, which will actually move to toolbox like this. Oop, wrong one. Outline, copy, paste. Okay, it's been a bit difficult today. Break, right-click. Okay, for some reason we can't copy that. Let's go work that out why. Okay, click off it and click back on it and hit copy. So there's a couple of bugs that you might need to do. Let's just try to reset it. We've done that. Nice. So I can delete that from here. Out of this, right click this, go to properties, and we can do this however we want. Let's make it red. Why not? Boom. And as you can see, it's easy to align up. See that? Okay. Let's have like a purple color or something. Why not? Okay, maybe a bit more purple. Oopsie. This bottom one, get a bit more dark purple or whatever. Okay, you get the point. Like, the design's not my best, but you get the idea how to add that up. Okay, so that's our outlines. And let's see, what else can we do? This is important. And 25 minutes in, the audio that you get from this. So I'm going to switch my headset off and switch it back on. Let's go take a listen, because you hear how I sound now, but how do I hear through OBS? Well, let's mute this. Okay, this is what I sound like. I'm going to take the headset off because I can't listen to myself when I do this. You'll notice there's a bit of a difference between this and between this. Right? I don't know if you can tell the quality difference, but I can. So how do we fix that? It's very easy. So watch this. Let's go to our link that was sent our casters or podcasters, and I'm going to add a and pro audio equals 1, enter, leave. And it's back. And now you see I'm a bit more quieter than usual. And so how do we fix the quietness? Well, we can come to here, add filters, and we can now on this one add a gain. Up that, and boom, I'm getting louder. You see that? Much more easier to hear. But the problem is I'm boosted, but what happens if I get too close to the mic? If I get too close, you see what I mean? Or if I get too far away, you'll see how it starts to end up. So how do we fix that? Very easy. Let's go add a compressor. There we go. Now I'm close to the mic. Now I'm farther away from the mic. Now I'm close to the mic, and you can see how it doesn't go too loud. So you can keep hearing me no matter whereabout I am usually, should be still okay. And that's how you add that. Finally, let's say, I'm going to get my phone and I'm going to play some noise. So hold on, let me go find this. White noise. Add. Because when you switch that pro audio stuff on, it basically means that it's switched off all the software control, so we have to make our own. So here we go. I got some white noise. Well, okay, I got an advert here, so we'll have to wait for that. Got an advert to play some white noise. Nice. This channel's doing quite good. 295 million views on some white noise. Okay, with ads. So we're playing this. Okay, well, we don't want this going off, do we? How do we fix that? We can add something called an expander. Okay, I put this before the gain. As you can see, it's removed that. I'll lower this just a little bit. So now you can see how much quieter it makes the noise. This lets you control how much we start to mute that noise. Switch it off. Okay, see what I mean? Or we can just completely get rid of it. Boom. Okie dokie. And so that's how you should control the audio. And let's put this on the other microphone too. And so we can come to audio, right click one, copy filters, podcaster 2, paste filters. And let's see if that actually worked. Yep, there we go. We have all of our stuff that we had before, our gain and all that. But we got to switch that pro audio on the other one. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste this like this. Boom. There we go. Switch this back to this mic, and that's how it's set up. And you can now copy these links, save them, and whenever you send this link to someone else, they'll always show up in this position. I'm trying to think what else there is to go over. There's not too much. We went over the freeze. We got like the full podcast arc. You might have the border here as well. If you don't want the border here, let's go into that. Copy this. We can copy it, paste, duplicate, right click, properties, no filters. And okay, for some reason gets rid of that. Okay, well, you'll figure it out. Go into it. That can be your own goal to work out how not to do that. We have our break scene here. We got our preview setup, audio, all that, and then this is how I do a podcast. So let's pretend we're about to go live. We're on the break scene. Let's put the music through, and I'm gonna put my headset on. Okay, there we go. I gotta play the music for you guys to hear. And here we go. So we have our countdown. Nice. Counting down. Cool. All right. We're about to go live soon. We've got our audio on. Oh, wait. Is the audio okay, though? Let's take a listen. Go to this. Go to filters. Add. Audio monitor. Okay. Yo. Test. Okay, that's good. That's good. Nice. Switch that off. Nice. Check the other one out. Filters. Add. Audio monitor. Yo. Check. Yo. Okay, that's good. Audio monitor off. Nice. Perfect. Cool. So we've got that going. Audio's good. The video camera's good. Yep, that one's good. That one's good. Nice. Still got plenty of time. Let's go make some new things here. Duplicate this. Okay, duplicate it again. And we'll go with red. And today we're going to talk about colors, and so let's get into it. And let's pretend the countdown's about to hit 0. Cool. And now I'm going to mute my mic on here. Hello and welcome to the podcast. And I hear myself. And so today we're going to talk about a lot of colors here. And I'm joined by my friend over here, which I'll select this. Joined by my friend over here. Boom. And this camo guy is going to talk about some colors. And so first things first, I'd like to welcome everyone to the show. And we're going to talk about the white color. So here we are. We have the white color above us, and yep, this is quite a nice white. It's looking a bit darker than the usual white, but as you can see, white is made of red, green, and blue colors when we're on the computer. And our next thing that I want to talk about, I want to go talk about the green color. And so let's take a look at the green. So here we are. This is the green. And so we have our green. This is quite nice. Movies like to use this to move the green about, to remove it. And if we put the two colors together, we can now have like a white and a green color. What's interesting is this green is here as well. And that's pretty cool and all. But what happens if we wanted to take a look at a different color? Red. And so red, well, we have our red going on. Could mean danger and all that. And that's pretty cool and all. And I don't know if my other caster has something to talk about with this, and so take it away. Yo, this cool color. Wow, that's crazy, man. Crazy. Oh, that's like complete nuts. I mean, just look at this. Like, yeah, that color there, right there. That's crazy, that. And I just think that that's such an amazing color and whatnot. And I don't know if you agree, Joe. Yeah, I do agree with that. I think it's a great color. But actually, cut you off right now. And yep, about this. But actually, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. No, you suck at the... No, if you... Blah, blah. Yeah, you get the idea. All right. Looks like this camo guy is completely off the rails. We'll have to send it off to a break, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. What's up, guys? We're back. Unfortunately, we lost our other participant, so it's just me at the desk, and that is unfortunate. And so we're gonna have to take him off. But we have one more color to talk about, and that is, well, it's not the red today. It's actually another color, and so we're gonna have to make sure our producer catches up here and selects the right color. And so it's not white. I was actually thinking of more of like a blue color. And I thought, hopefully, okay, there we go, that one. As you can see, we do have that color. I think there they forgot to freeze it before they changed it, but who cares about that? And so that's awesome and all. But finally, we have one image that I want to discuss, and that's this. Man, what is this? We got yellows, blues, greens, and a whole match of colors. That's complete crazy. And I want to be alongside of this as we talk about this. And so there it is. And so as we can see, boom, this. Okay, cool. That's awesome and all. And what happens if we added that red color behind it? Okay, well, let's go do that. And there you go. Okay, awesome. And yep, thank you. And I do hope you follow along with the next podcast. I know this video is really long and a bit crazy, but you do get the idea of how this is all put together. And we're going to send off a farewell soon. And so we'll see you later. Join next time, guys. And it's definitely not me that's typing that, but we'll see you later. All right, so you get the idea of how I quickly put that together and some of the things that was used to quickly scuff that up. So you get the idea. That's basically the thing that you can do. You saw some other tricks there that I did, and that's a very long journey on how to set up a podcast. There's a whole lot more, and honestly, reach out, send me a message. We can probably build one of these together, or if you have like a very, tricky thing that you want to set up, or you want to do some weird stuff. Like let's say we go over to here, mute that because I don't want to hear myself. Or we can get rid of it from there too. And so we can like add move stuff. This is another plugin as well. We can add a move, easy clap. Okay, boom. Then we can duplicate this, boom. Then in this duplicated version, we want to get rid of number 2. And then we can do that. And then boom, boom, boom. You can do this all live, put that to here. And now we can go back to 2, stay on 2, cut, change this to 2000. And we'll be like, yo, I'm going to get this guy off the screen. Go away. Boom. We got him off the screen. Actually, no, come back. So I got this one thing. No, get away. You see what I mean? It's very easy to do that. And some other stuff that we can do is let's add a lower third real quick. How do we do that? Okay, well, let's bring this in. Okay, cool. We're gonna add lower third. Okay, boom. I'm gonna go move to that, I guess. And now we're gonna add a gradient. I'm gonna speed through this. You'll be able to catch up. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Dink, 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 dink. Whoops, I'm going too quick. Some height, there we go. Now I can adjust it inwards. Cool. Center left. Boom. Boom. Dink, dink. And you know what? Let's also add the, let's see, preview. I'm going to get the preview in there. So preview render, switch this back to preview. Where's preview? Preview, boom. There's back to that. Come over to here. Lower third, add. Source clone. I'm gonna add that preview render. Right click this. Stretch to bounds. Move that over to here. Flick that in. I don't know why I'm holding shift, but it's not doing it. Oh, okay, interesting. I just learned something about that. Gonna zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Make sure this is aligned up. Dink, dink, dink. Dink, dink, dink. Boom. And now we're going to scale this back to the window. And now we're going to add all of this into a group. Where's group? Group selected. Okay, cool. This. Show. Transition. Slide right. Boom. Okay, and then this text. Show. Slide up. Okay, and we're going to change the show onto that. Just got disco notification, cool. To, let's see, make this shorter, 3. Okay, then finally the whole thing. Hide, slide down, show, slide up. I'm going to fix the timings on this as well because these timings match whatever you last had in your thing. So 2000, hide, 200, boom. There we go. And so that's a simple setup for that. We can make this show slower so we can see it actually come in. There we go. Boom. That's a simple lower third. We're going to put this over to here. I'm going to go back to the 2 box. Oops. Back to 2 box. Add source clone, lower third render. Over to here, add lower third. Boom, added, boom, there it is. Hide on this as well, hide fade, there we go. Change the fade duration to 2000, boom. Easy way to toggle that on and off. And now we can go back to lower third, we go to docs and tools, source doc, add lower third, boom, add preview on with scene items on, boom, switch this on and think. And we're also going to come over back to here. Going to right click this, copy, paste, duplicate, bring it over to here, bring it back in, Control C, Control V. That doesn't seem to work. Oh well. Going to drag them both out of the thing. Control C, Control V, drag them straight back in. Make sure we have our scaling on, boom, boom, boom. Okay, there we go. We have 2 and we got 1. 2 hasn't got the hide and show. And so now we have to say we have 800 on show, 800, slide up, boom, okay, switch that off, and there we go. And so we're going to make this color white. Okay, boom, and we'll go back to here, and we're going to get ready for that. We're going to drop that, boom. I just dropped that by dropping it on here, boom, that's gone. Okay, nice, and now we're going to get ready to talk about red, and so make sure the red color's there. And okay, and so we're going to talk about this red color. I mean, this is something crazy, the red color. But you know what? I have one other color that's quite interesting, and I don't know if our... Sorry, I missed one step. Because we want this to hide as well. Oops, not that. We want this to hide. Slide left. And now we're going to go to this preview. Which one's the white? White's this one. I'm going to enable that. I'm going to reset it so it's like that. So now we've talked about the red color, but actually I've got one other color that okay, there's just bugged in this. Now I've got one other color that I want to talk about, and actually this color is quite interesting because I don't have the hide on that shit. You can see how this gets going. So here, hide 6, slide down, boom, okay, this, hide, slide down, boom, okay. And so, okay, boom, boom. So we've got this red color, but actually I've got one other interesting color. And let's go talk about that. And so this is actually the white color. So what is the white color? Oops. And so the white color is this other thing. So yeah, this is tricky to manage without a Stream Deck. But like, yeah, that white color is cool. But actually, you know what? I really do like this red color instead. This red color is just something else. And so, yeah, that's pretty cool. And there you go. You can see how that is easily aligned up. You can customize whatever, blah, blah, blah. And cool, that red color is awesome and all. But actually, you know what? I've just got... here we go. Let's do this. Hold on. Tools. Source stock. And we want to add a... Let's see. Can we add properties maybe? No. With the... No. text input. It says global. Okay, so we need to set this up ourselves. And so LT text, add text input. LT text 2, add text input. Okay, there we go. And we got that blue color. I'm going to make the lower third hide this a lot quicker. Boom. And run preview, ready for the next thing. And it's blue. So yeah, so this red color, right? It's really cool. We got a look at it here. That's nice and all. But actually, I want to talk about this blue color. I'm sure we'll be able to pull that up soon. And so we have this blue color coming up. And here it is. Blue. Okay, that's quite cool. Quite interesting. And that's the blue color. But actually, I got one last thing I want to talk about. And that's actually an image. I don't know if we were able to pull that image up. And so here we go. Boom. And we got the image. Okay, and just some cropping that, but you get the idea. Anyway, there you go. I'm not going to keep going into that. But it's very easy just to quickly mash stuff together once you get the hang of it. And then you have to fix bugs. Be like, oh, okay, that image, that's okay. Drop that. Boom, fixed. And let's go back to the color. Boom, color. Let's pretend we're going to go to color white. White, boom, in. I get the idea. All right, there you go. There's a lot more we can go through. For example, okay, we've got both the colors on there because in our lower third we've got, no, it's in preview this off. There we go. So that's color white, and you know what? We can just leave it at that. Yeah, there's a lot more you can go into, but that's the basic gist of it. All right, hope you enjoyed. I know this is really long, but I just wanted to go over quite a lot of the things here, and hope you enjoyed. I know, yeah, there you go. I'll make more advanced stuff later on, okay? Oh, that was it, so bye-bye.